Did you know that in the state of Montana, it is technically a felony for a wife to open her husband's mail? That's not a metaphor or a historical artifact. That is a real law on the books in an American state. We live in a nation of laws. In fact, the United States has produced more laws and statutes than any other nation in recorded history. These laws are designed to protect our life, liberty, and property, but they can cost us each of those things as well. I'm Lee Merritt, and this is your legal briefing with Lee, the movement lawyer. Today we're going to talk about three things. Two numbers that keep us grounded in reality, a Supreme Court decision that has changed how police violence must be judged, and what's actually happening on the ground, and what your moves are for this week. Think of it like an agenda. Let's get into it. Every week on the Legal Brief, I'm going to give you two numbers because facts anchor the conversation. Number one is police killings. In 2024, law enforcement officers in the United States shot and killed approximately 1,365 people. That makes 2024 the deadliest year for police violence since comprehensive tracking began. And it wasn't an anomaly. For more than a decade, American police have killed at least 1,000 people each year with no consistent downward trend. Number two is incarceration. The United States currently cages about 1.8 million people in prison and jails. In total, 7.6 million people are under some form of state control, prison, jail, probation, parole, or supervision. This is the largest system of incarceration in world history. While overall incarceration rates have declined modestly from its peak, racial disparities remain massive. Black and brown communities are still disproportionately policed, charged, convicted, and confined. Those are the numbers. Everything else sits on top of them. Now let's move to the board. The United States Supreme Court just issued a major decision in Barnes v. Felix, a federal excessive force case that came out of the Fifth Circuit, one of the most conservative circuits in the country, comprised of Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. For years, police officers have relied on 5 magic words to escape accountability. I feared for my life. Courts often treat that statement like a checkmate. Not anymore. In Barnes v. Felix, the Supreme Court held that courts must evaluate police officers based on the totality of circumstances, not just the split second before an officer decides to pull the trigger. That matters because officers frequently rush into situations, fail to de-escalate, ignore safer alternatives, and then they use the danger they created to justify the use of deadly force. The court is now saying, we're going to look at the entire board, every move the officer made that led to that moment. I feared for my life is no longer an automatic win. While the Supreme Court has opened the analytical window a bit, the ground game is telling a different story. On December 12th, in Northern California, the Alameda County District Attorney succeeded in getting rid of rare criminal charges against a police officer, Jason Fletcher, for the 2020 killing of Stephen Taylor. Stephen Taylor was shot to death during a mental health crisis inside of a Walmart. Here's what matters. The judge assigned to the case denied this dismissal 2 times. The Taylor family opposed the dismissal, of course. My office, by amicus brief, opposed the dismissal. So what happened? The DA waited until the presiding judge was on vacation. Then she refiled a motion with a visiting judge who granted it. That's not justice. That's maneuvering. And it's a pattern. In Kansas City, Officer Eric DeVolcanier was convicted in 2021 for murdering Cameron Lamb, the first Kansas City officer ever convicted for an on-duty shooting. Recently, Missouri's governor granted him clemency. In Texas, Governor Greg Abbott pardoned Daniel Perry after he ran down and killed a Black Lives Matter protester, overturning a judge and jury's decision. Taken together, these moves send a clear message. Even when communities force charges, win convictions, and secure prison sentences, powerful actors can step in and pull officers back to safety, sometimes even putting them back on the board. So what do? Here are your moves for this week. First, check your voter registration today. Find the date of your next primary election. Primaries decide district attorneys, sheriffs, judges, city and county officials who control policing. Put it in your phone. Commit now. You will not sit out the primaries this year. Second, find a room where decisions are actually made. Go to your city or county website and write down when meetings happen, how to join online or in person, and how to sign up for public comment. Pick one meeting this week and attend, even if just by Zoom. Third, use your 2 minutes. Prepare one clear question. What are you doing this year to reduce unnecessary police encounters and prevent avoidable deaths in our community? Say it, get on the record, and then share the answers or silence with your neighbors. This has been your weekly legal brief with Lee, the movement lawyer. Next week, we're going to break down President Donald Trump's enemies list, what it is, how it works, why it matters. Same board, same rules, smarter moves. See you next week.